Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, episode. Welcome back to Drum and Drummer.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
It's good to be back.
yeah. If you stayed with us,
Yeah.
hello again.
Yeah. And if for some reason this is your first episode,
What are you
hello
doing?
for
There's
the
only
first
two.
time. Yeah. 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 Why did you start on episode
Yeah.
2?
Well, I really
listen to
liked
one.
that TV series. I'm going to start at season 3. No,
Yeah.
go back to the beginning.
Exactly.
Get the history. Understand who the characters are. Do all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's episode 2. Drum and Drummer.
Yes.
Chats about drums and stuff.
Chats
With
about
me,
drums.
Ben.
And me, George.
Yes, Ben and George.
That is our names. This is a better intro already. I think explaining, we don't obviously need to explain every week what it's about, but I think initially chats about drums.
Chats about drums and stuff.
And stuff. It
Who
may
we
go
are,
off.
Yeah.
May go off topic.
May do. May not.
Hope that it does.
That's the gamble. That's the dice we're rolling every week.
This is it. I don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what you're going to say.
No.
We don't know if anyone's going to listen.
No, but that's not important.
Not important.
Not important.
Anyway,
right. I'm going to start us off, George.
Go on.
I'm going to start us off. What made you want to be a drummer? What got you into drums?
I can tell you exactly.
Apart from immediate sex appeal that comes with being a drummer.
It does.
More
than most instruments.
What got you on that little bandwagon we call drumming, baby?
Genuinely, there is because I know some people are like, oh, well, I was sort of interested. And then there was, me. No, there was a clear point. So I didn't want to be a drummer at all. And then one day, I remember, I don't even know if I've told you this story. I was in the car with my dad and he played me Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous album. And there's a song on it called Shalala. And there's a drum solo. And I was about 10, maybe 9 or 10. And he was like, oh, listen to this drum solo. Like he'd clearly been listening to the album that day. And if you listen to the song, the drum solo starts, and it's amazing. I didn't know what was going on. And then it goes back to the band playing. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. And then he's like, my dad goes, hang on, he hasn't even started yet. And then the drum solo kicks off again. And it's like 3 minutes of just chaos. It's like double kicks. Tom rolls around the kit and it ends with this massive gong. And I was like, Jesus, what was that? But the thing was, I didn't then play drums for another 5 or so years. But I remember that being the point at which I was like, cool, that was, I don't know, without sounding cheesy, it ignites something in you. You go, that was epic. What was that? I want to do that,
Yeah.
But
you were touched.
I was touched
in a special place by the drummer of Thin Lizzy.
And also, I was trying to riff on that joke, but I didn't know how to do it.
We all know the joke.
We all know the joke. But yeah, it was an amazing song and amazing album. And it's kind of, it got me into it. And to this day, when I hear that song, I'm like, oh yeah, it still has that same sort of spark to it. But that was for me. It was a clear moment of, I want to do that. Do you remember your reason or want or?
I was in a band at school playing guitar. I know, sure, I do it all. And we had a drummer, and I just every rehearsal was like, I think that's better.
Yeah,
I think that's more fun.
Yeah. And
so in the breaks in rehearsals, I'd just go and sit behind the kit and just play about. And I already had some musical knowledge because I would play the trombone like a little nerd. Ooh, play the little trombone. I've already played that since I was 7. I just sit at the kit and I was like, oh, this is good. And also a friend of mine, Tom, he had older brothers and they had a drum kit and they played in bands at school and they were really cool. They were like the cool year 11s.
Yeah.
And they played a gig at school and the drummer Jay was just really good. And I was like, I think that's just where I want to be on the stage. Yeah. And then I remember just through Tom's older brothers, getting into Green Day and Nirvana and your classic, more your gateways into your alternative music, and Chili Peppers and things, and just being like, oh yeah, I'm latching onto the drums more than anything else. Lyrics could not give a fuck what they're saying.
Yeah.
But the drum beats, yeah. And just the sound, especially on some of those records, you're like, oh, it just sounds good.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if I told you this story, but when I was in year 8, I wanted to play the drums, but I was already doing guitar and trombone. And we went on holiday to my dad's cousin's mansion in Jersey. I know it's mental.
Yeah.
And their son had a drum kit in this like games room, which had like table tennis and arcade machines, electric kit and an acoustic kit. And I was like, oh, I want to play the drums. And mum and dad were like, no, you already do guitar and trombone. I was like, forget guitar, rubbish.
Yeah.
No one's ever done anything on guitar. It's not about guitar. I want to do drums. They said, oh, well, if you play on this kit and then play, it's almost like prove to us you can do something with the kit. And I basically just sat down and just played some drums.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, it's probably a bit of potential there. And then I was like, sweet. So I started drum lessons in year 8 after that holiday. And then from that, you start to get into your drummers as well, like Trey Cool and Dave Grohl and Chad Smith and those things. And then my nan, bless her, R.I.P. Nan, she bought me a subscription to Rhythm magazine.
Right.
It was a lovely Christmas present.
Yeah.
And the first one I got, it had Trey Cool on it. And I was just like, oh yeah. And I just got into it that way. And then started wanted to then do drums in a band at school, and started having lessons with the great John Hammond, bit of a ledge around the old South Coast way. But I was just really engrossed by the sound of the drums on these records, and what I just thought it looked cooler just playing drums and that,
my introduction into actually playing drums was weird, because even though I'd had that initial shalala Thin Lizzy, that was amazing, I then actually started playing guitar, and I was very much a guitarist like in my early teen years, and I wanted to be in a band more than anything. And I got a group of guys together that played instruments, and it was me on guitar, 2 other guys on guitar, and then a guy on bass, and we didn't have a drummer. So
that is the perfect lineup. 3 guitars and bass and nothing else.
And I remember I'd like played a little bit of drums. I think I'd had a few random drum lessons that I won in a raffle or something, I can't remember. And I remember they said, well, George, you just play drums for this rehearsal or whatever, because we'd practiced at school. And so I could play a beat, and that was enough. And they were like, right, you can be the drummer till we find a drummer. And I remember really being like, I don't want to play drums, because I got so into guitar that it felt like this isn't what I want to do. And I remember I'd be playing beats and we were getting songs together, and it was kind of exciting because we were finally actually starting to be a band. But I remember I was still going, but I want to be playing guitar. This isn't what I want to do. And then slowly it just sort of started to switch until I thought, actually, no, drums this is what's cool. I remember I started to quite like, I don't know, the power of it in terms of like, you're in charge of the band, it's like, I remember.
You follow me. All right.
Exactly. And I remember I started to quite like that, that feeling of, even though I was like 14, 15, I very much understood like, you'll all go as fast or as slow as I'm going, which, I can't play the drums very well. So it is going to change a lot, this tempo. But
so did you have lessons at school?
I didn't at school. I think I did after I left school, or maybe like during, but outside of school, some private lessons. But but I think, as much as Pete, my drum teacher, was amazing, a lot of my learning was playing along to songs, as I'm sure it is with many young drummers, kind of, I sort of every night when I've eventually got my drum kit at my parents' house, I just sit and play, every album I own.
Well, I think it's that thing is when you start, especially when you start I think it comes when you get into bands you like.
Yeah.
Like that was when it really triggered for me, was when I started getting into alternative music and things like Incubus and that's that sort of world. And then it's the one thing you can sort of do with no instrument along to the songs.
Yeah.
Like you can't just sit there and play guitar with no guitar.
No.
But drumming, slap your thighs and you can tap your feet on the floor and you can sort of do something along with the song.
Yeah. And it seems a lot more instant as well in terms of like, certain songs that the drum beat is simple and you don't need to know that much, but you can play along, songs like Seven Nation Army.
Basic. It's for basic people.
Yeah.
Drumming is for the simple people. This
is it. But it's that weird thing of it's like anyone can play the simple beats, but to play them well and keep them well, yes, is it. Yeah, not anyone.
Yeah. It's accessible at the start. It's very accessible early on, isn't it? To just tap along and
I think it is, yeah. Because that's what I've always said. When I teach drums, it's what's great about it is by the end of the lesson, pretty much any student can play the "We Will Rock You" beat, and that's exciting to go. Oh wow, I can play a Queen song.
Yeah, you could now be in Queen.
But other instruments don't have that kind of instant feeling. Like if you play piano and you start with the C major scale, it's not as exciting. I mean, it might be for some, young people, but I think generally drums is, once you get going, it's very exciting from the first hit, if that makes sense. And and then if you use that fuel to keep playing, then you get better. But I think generally from the moment you start playing drums, it's fun. I think that's why it's good. And there's definitely
an element of it which is just fun.
Yeah,
it's just fun. You just hit stuff
because you
even if you're not very good. Like when I was first probably played a kit when I was year 5 or 6 with the Tom's older brothers had this kit in this little outhouse. And you just hit it. Yeah, and you're like, cool. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
No electricity needed.
No,
just all power.
All power. My problem is that I'm all power.
I'm all power.
Yeah. As opposed to like a violin. There was a violin at my grandparents' house when I was growing up, and I tried to play it. And you can't just play a violin. You know what I mean? You can't just pick it up because it's going to be out of tune, and you're not going to get the. Is it a bow? Is it a bow that you use?
Yeah.
Bow.
Yes.
I don't know why that seemed wrong because I was thinking of like archery. I was like, that can't be the same word. But drums, they make a noise.
Pick up some sticks and hit the cunt.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're on your way.
Exactly.
Basically,
that's all you need. That's how I usually start most of my lessons at the school as well. That phrase, pick up the sticks and hit the cunt. And then they go,
Yeah. Welcome to George's drum lessons. Lesson 1, pick up the sticks, hit the cunt. Yeah. Let's go.
This is it. And then, I'm not allowed back to.
No, you didn't. Schools. You didn't stay at that school for a while.
No,
they didn't let you back in.
A mutual decision to.
Wasn't working. Wasn't working for some reason.
You can't call a 5-year-old a cunt. I wasn't, not him, the kid.
It's endearing, if anything. It's, it's a sign of
you ever
friendship.
seen Whiplash? Yeah. But anyway, right.
Good. We'll take that's how we got into drumming or something. But take a little break and we'll be back to talk about some other shit.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy it. We are enjoying it, but it's just little moments there of we don't enjoy it. No, I don't know.
Small moments of aggression.
All right. Small moments of aggression.
All right. See you in a bit. Bye.
See you in a bit.
I'm back.
Is that Ben
Right.
is now eating a Twix?
Mm-hmm.
There's what? So what is the context of this?
I bloody love them.
Yeah.
Love a Twix. I think they're severely underrated.
Do you know
Really?
why I don't?
They're in
love them
my
as
top
much?
5.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But my reason for they're not the best, they don't hit the spot as much. Do you know?
You're
what I
having a
mean?
laugh, mate.
No, compared to like a Snickers, I want something that's dense in the chocolate realm.
I think the
There's
Twix
too
is
much.
the perfect
No, but
perfect balance of biscuit, caramel, and chocolate.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But in terms
Then you
of
finish a
like,
finger and you think, oh, that's a shame. And you go, that's all right. There's another one.
bit like a Kit Kat, bit like a 4-way Kit Kat. You get that.
No,
You get
4-way
you
Kit
get,
Kats can fuck right off.
you get that feeling 3 times. You go, oh no, oh no, I got another one. Oh no, oh wait, oh there's a 4th one.
No, get rid of those Kit Kats and just stick with the chunkies. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that. But I like a dense bar. Do you know what I mean? If I have a chocolate bar, I want to know I've had one. A double decker, a Snickers. You know, Twix is almost in this realm of like lighter bars, like a Kinder Bueno or something. Do you know what I
You're
mean?
way off.
No, I'd say in terms of light, it goes Kinder Bueno, light. Other end, you got your double decker, and then the Twix is somewhere in the middle. For me, it don't quite hit it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your top 5 then?
I mean,
Let's go top 3. Go on, we got a drum podcast to do.
Kit Kat chunky, standard.
Is that number 1?
No, I can't order them at the moment. I'll have to really think about it. But Kit Kat chunky, normal. Twix. The third one does get tricky, but
You
I'll have to come back to that. I'll have to come back to that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Galaxy.
No,
Yeah, because it's the creamiest.
no, it gives you a gammy throat and mouth.
I like the gammy throat and mouth. That's the best
Yeah.
bit. I like a chocolate that lingers and you know it's sugaring up those teeth for the next.
Just reminds me of that bit in the Matrix where he goes in the mirror and the mirror goes down his throat. It's like, and I just imagine that you just got this coating of like chocolate down your thing. Anyway, I'm sure we'll come back to chocolate bars more and more because I love them.
That was an aggressive swallow. That
well,
we got to crack on.
Got to crack on because, George, I'm going to tell you about my first ever gig.
Oh yeah, please.
On drums. It was not the first ever band I was in because I did gigs with that, but I was on guitar. Does not count. First ever gig as a drummer was year 10, and I was in a band called Flaming Gran.
Amazing.
3-piece band. My brother on bass and vocals, and Rick Turner on guitar. And we started off just doing covers. And actually, our first gig was in the school talent show. I think they called it the Review, school talent show. And we played My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. You know, middle of the afternoon in the school theatre.
Amazing.
Loved it.
Yeah. Okay, here's the
just
question.
Just one song, but we had to, I think our school review was you had to audition to be in it.
Right.
Like there wasn't just just picking up any trash of any knobhead who wants to do something.
Yeah.
You know, there's some quality kicking around. Like a very basic Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Henry Court's got some talent. But maybe just keep the mentals away.
Yeah.
You know. I remember also in the same gig, some of the year 11 girls reenacted the Diet Coke advert with one of the German teachers.
Right.
You know, do you remember the Diet Coke advert?
I was going to say we're about 10 years age difference, so you're going to have to fill me in.
It
What
was the one
this?
where the music was da 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 da. I want you da 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 da
Oh,
da.
yeah, of
And it was
course.
like hot guys with like drinking Diet Coke, and all the women were just literally gushing.
I remember that.
Well,
Wasn't
they
there one
reenacted it with a German teacher at
Yeah.
school who was this old big fat dude, and he came out topless, and he had like
Amazing.
Diet Coke break written on his chest in felt tip pen, and all the year 11 girls were like, "Oh, Mr. Thingy," I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah, we did. We played My Almost Enemy in the school talent show.
nice.
And I loved it on the school drum kit.
How did you feel before doing the gig? That's what I want to know.
Worried I
Nerves?
couldn't remember the song.
Excitement? Yeah.
I still struggle with structures.
Yeah.
They just
Fair
don't. They
enough.
just don't go in.
Fair enough.
But in a funny twist of events, I now am in a wedding band that plays pop punk style covers, and one of the songs we do is My Almost Enemy by Lit, and
Amazing.
I get to play it, and now I can actually play it.
Yeah,
But I think I could play it back then because it's not the hardest song, but it's just all come full circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, school theatre, Henry Court.
School theatre.
That was the first gig. Yeah.
Well, my first gig, funnily enough, was also in a theatre, Have an Art Centre theatre. And
someone's doing well.
all downhill from there.
He's gone straight in at the festival hall.
Well, yeah. And it was basically my friends.
Hampshire's Festival Hall, they call it.
They do. So, well, some of my mates.
All I hear is,
I told
have
you
an art
about.
centre, have an art centre. Never, when you've been there once.
Why? Right, go on. Seeing as you keep interrupting, why did you go to Have an Art Centre?
Just do a rehearsal.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, carry
on. So it was the same band that I was on about, that first band where I ended up being the drummer. And we used to go to this thing called rock school. And I'll leave it at that. But it was
sort of a school where you learn how to rock, probably.
Yeah, you can. It's kind of self-explanatory. It was an after-school youth club, I guess.
Was School of Rock based on your rock school you went to?
I think so. I think Jack Black came to a few.
He was in Havant.
He was in Havant, knocking
Jack
about.
Black was in Havant, and he was like, "Oh, I can hear some.
Yeah.
What's going on here?"
Yeah.
And
he said, Cage, we've got to go to this. Yeah. It's like, but Jack, why do we got to film Tenacious D or however they talk? I don't know.
That's whatever.
So anyway,
what did you play? What songs are you playing?
Wow, this is the thing about rock school. No covers. You had to write your own stuff.
Oh.
But what was funny is we didn't have a singer, so we just jammed for like 3 minutes, and we had little riffs and stuff that we went into. But I almost the gig, what we played wasn't that important. What was important was like I remember just getting that feeling, that kind of nervous excitement before I did it, and like you can sort of, the crowd was just mums and dads, but you're very excited because you can hear it, like you sort of backstage, and then there's so many different like little things like that just seem so nostalgic now. Like the smoke machine was on.
Yeah.
That's kind of a common
that
thing
instantly makes your gig better.
Yeah,
it's just an instant. Think we're shit, do you?
Yeah,
get that smoke machine on. Ooh,
I think that's it. And something that's worth talking about is, I'm sure you had this when you played a gig, because I'm not sure with that school one whether you had this, but the first time you play a gig where the kit's mic'd up, and it's this insane feeling, when you sort of
definitely not at my school gig.
No,
definitely not.
When you play a kick drum and it's sort of how it normally sounds, and then you hear it mic'd, and you can almost feel the sound go like to the back of the room, and you go like, whoa, I was talking about like how you sort of feel, I don't know, in charge or something when you're the drummer. And I think when you've got that feeling as well of like everyone in this room can hear my kit, that's like feels really good. So I remember it was just, I think I was about 15 or 16 when I did this first gig, but I just remember it being really exciting because the audience was all dark. So in my head, it could have been 200 people there. Probably wasn't. It was like 14 mums and dads. Yeah, and it was just very exciting.
You just did the one song. You just did the.
I think we just. I
What
think
was
we
it? You
all
said it
did.
wasn't even songs. Just
Wasn't even really a song.
random.
Just riffs
Just
and whatever we
random
could
ramblings of
youth.
below average ability teenagers.
This is it, and yeah, one song and an off, maybe two. I can't remember. But
Always leave them wanting more.
Like, exactly.
That's a perfect example of just always want them leaving more.
Oh yeah.
I could go into another random riff, but I won't.
No,
I'll let them just.
One's enough. But yeah, it was very exciting, very exciting. And after that, it was like, cool. This is what I want to do now. Yeah, and it's that thing of it was probably a shambles, much like, I don't want to offend you, but my worst enemy in your head at the time, it was great. But
oh yeah, in my head it sounded amazing.
Yeah,
like it sounded. The kit wasn't mic'd. I assume there was a PA with some sort of like vocals going through. Nothing else going through the PA.
No,
it just sounded abysmal, and it would have been one of them shitty PAs where you probably couldn't even really hear the vocals that well. But in my head, it sounded like the real deal. Yeah, anyway, just going back to my school, it's literally just entered my head. So there was a few drummers in the school, and there was a guy called I don't know his real name, but his nickname was Lumpy.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, do you know?
I've heard this.
Yeah,
I'm not. Yeah, but go on, tell it.
I never saw him play the drums, but apparently he did play the drums, and he had a drum kit at home. And he was a couple of years older, and rumor went around his nickname was Lumpy, because he would he'd wank in tissues and then use the tissues to dampen the bass drum.
It's so disgusting. And somehow the nickname Lumpy makes it so much worse.
Yeah. I use a pillow to dampen the kick drum, not to. But that was his nickname, and that was apparently why. And I also remember he got suspended for on non-uniform day turning up in a Cradle of Filth t-shirt that said Jesus is a cunt and had a picture of a nun fingering herself.
That's way less than what I thought it could be, given his track record of essentially masturbating into his drum
Jesus kit. Is a cunt at school.
I think if you put your wank tissues into your kick drum to dampen it.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, we don't know. That could be the best kick dampening thing out there. A big mass pile of congealed wank tissues. Exactly. And here we are dicking around with pillows and the Evans
and moon gels.
And you just got to jizz in a tissue and slap it on the snare drum.
Exactly.
And you just get a lovely.
Well, what's funny about it is it gets better with age. The more you put in, the more damp. I mean, literally damp.
Yeah,
it is. But that is just. I think the nickname Lumpy makes it worse because that doesn't seem. It's not the best word.
It doesn't really relate to it, but it also does.
Which makes it worse.
Yeah. But anyway, that was cool.
Yeah, there we go.
And those were our first gigs.
Those were our first gigs. Yeah. And it's weird though, because I always feel like first gigs is first anything, first drive, first whatever. Everything I thought of just sounded. I thought I was going to say shag or wank, but I thought, I can't. But your first one, you're like, wow, it was amazing, and it would never top that first one in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've both played better.
Oh, there's just a certain
but there's
nostalgia to it, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Because you didn't have anything. You didn't have anything else to worry about. And in school, you were guaranteed an audience.
Yeah.
You were like we played the year 11 end of school assembly, the last assembly for all the year 11s, and my Rage Against the Machine tribute band played Killing in the Name, and probably Balls on Parade and Bomb Track. And I don't really think the teachers knew what they were asking for when they said, "Oh, Ben, you're in a band, can you play?" And then we rocked up and played some Rage Against the Machine. But 180 people in the crowd, bosh, guaranteed all the
Yeah,
students, and they were
Yeah.
loving it. And everyone was shouting, "Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me."
Yeah.
At the end
Exactly.
of bye year 11s, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck you! I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah.
You know,
See, that is cool. Yeah, there is a nostalgic element.
yeah. But now
Like,
I've got
to
to
this
worry
day-
about, the lid
Driving
of the
home.
washing machine.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? And it's just,
I thought I was going to say just quickly before we wrap it up, but with gigs now, not to sound like a boring old man, but it's like you don't just play the gig now. You gotta drive there. School, you just turn up. Oh, I'm at school anyway. Great. You haven't got to drive to Newcastle or something. And
where is it? School when 4 p.m. I mean, what? You can't go wrong, can you?
Exactly.
And the crowd, all they have to do is just not go home.
Yeah.
They're already there.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll get to that worst gigs.
And we didn't have
on
Netflix
podcast.
either.
No.
To distract us. To distract people. People don't go out anymore. They don't care.
No. I mean, we haven't gone out. I could have come to the studio to do this, but instead I'm in my flat and we're doing it remotely. Everything's going to be online one day.
Yeah.
And it's what we've all got to look forward to.
Can't put Twixers online. That's a fact.
Cool. You can't eat them. Right.
That's it.
Let's wrap it up.
Episode 2, Drum and Drummer, done. Instagram, what is it, George?
Drum and Drummer Podcast.
At Drum and Drummer Podcast. Find it on Instagram.
Yeah.
There'll be an email at some point, and we'll put it all in the thing. Review 5 stars, please. Thank you.
Well, I was going to say this week,
like and subscribe and tell your friends.
This week, send over.
Got any stories about your first gig? Funniest first gig, shit that happened at your first gig. Or how'd you get into drumming? And one day, someone will write in and go, I got into drumming by listening to your podcast.
Yeah. One day.
Oh, yeah. way off.
Yeah.
I'm joking. No one would get into drumming listening to this.
And if they did, then wow.
Yeah.
Right.
See you later then.
Episode 2. See
you
you later.
Bye.
Bye.